again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not. I've seen the autopsy report. To the request, they emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Of course, it was wedged between the two giant Israeli bodyguards the whole way.
If you want security, the Israelis know what they're doing.
Exactly.
People always seem to believe there must be something more beneath the surface. However, the truth is sometimes exactly what it appears to be. The autopsy report has been thoroughly reviewed and examined. A formal request was submitted to obtain these documents, and the response came back through email. Interestingly, no autopsy was actually conducted. The death certificate received a signature directly from the attending physician at the hospital facility. Throughout this entire process, the presence of two large Israeli bodyguards remained constant. When it comes to protection and security matters, Israeli professionals are widely recognized for their expertise and effectiveness in the field. Fresh footage has recently surfaced online, showing Charlie Kirk's security team in action. The more viewers analyze this video, the more questions emerge. These aren't casual observations but serious inquiries about specific behaviors, peculiar reactions, and details that create a sense of unease among those watching. What makes this situation even more peculiar is the notable silence from someone who should be most vocal about what transpired. Erika Kirk has remained remarkably quiet regarding the security failures that occurred that day. Consider this carefully for a moment. Her husband suffered a gunshot wound. Security personnel were positioned right there at the scene. Yet Erika has not publicly questioned the event planning procedures. She has not criticized how police responded to the situation. She has not challenged the narrative presented by the FBI. Where exactly has her anger been directed? Surprisingly, toward Candace Owens, toward members of the general public, and toward individuals asking questions that most reasonable people would consider legitimate and necessary. Rather than demanding accountability from those who were responsible for ensuring her husband's safety, she appears to be attacking anyone who attempts to look deeper into the circumstances. The situation becomes even more troubling when you learn that Erika is currently working alongside the same security guard who was hired to protect Charlie. This is the identical guard who was on duty the day Charlie was shot. Allow that information to fully register. Somehow, nobody is questioning her about this connection or asking why this relationship exists.
You were the wife of somebody who literally was publicly executed, and there was a detail that was charged with providing security from them. Why, in what world, what reality would you ever be contracting those exact same security guards?
Imagine being the wife of someone who was literally executed in public view, and there was a security detail specifically charged with providing protection for them. In what possible world, in what conceivable reality, would you ever consider contracting those exact same security guards for future work? Nobody is raising the question of why she has aligned herself with the very people who were supposed to prevent what happened. What Erika appears to want is straightforward and simple. She wants people to stop asking questions. She wants the public to accept the official story without any scrutiny or deeper investigation.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
Stop. That is it. That is all there is to say on the matter. Stop. She is actively pushing the narrative, and she is pushing it with considerable force and determination. However, there remains one topic she consistently refuses to address, one subject she keeps deliberately avoiding. That topic is the security failure that occurred on September 10th. Here is the red flag that should concern everyone paying attention to this case. The private security team has not been formally questioned, at least not in any public capacity. The mainstream media simply repeats talking points provided by the FBI. There has been no confirmation that these security guards, the individuals who were positioned just feet away from Charlie when the shot was fired, were ever interviewed as key witnesses to the incident. How is such a thing even possible? Who exactly are these men providing security? Online researchers began investigating and discovered Rick Cutler, a retired Texas officer with quite an impressive professional resume. He served 6 years in military experience, accumulated over 30 years in law enforcement, and spent 22 years working in SWAT operations. His retirement came in 2019, after which he relocated to Guatemala where he trained first responders in various emergency procedures. Video documentation exists that confirms all of these details. On paper, Rick appears to be the perfect security professional with all the right credentials and experience. Then the deeper connections begin to surface and reveal themselves. Rick works for an organization called United Rescue Alliance, a company that partnered with Jews for Jesus, a religious group that believes Yeshua was Jesus' original name. Rick has a large Yeshua tattoo prominently displayed on his forearm. Prior to this position, he worked for a missionary non-governmental organization called Iris Relief. A social media post from 2019 confirms his retirement from law enforcement and his subsequent move to Guatemala. What we have here is a man with deep religious ties and extensive international connections. This is interesting information, though not inherently suspicious on its own, until you examine what happened immediately after the assassination took place. On September 11th, the day immediately following Charlie's shooting, Rick's brother made a post on Facebook. He mentioned having a brother working for the same private security firm, the identical firm used by both Charlie Kirk and Riley Gaines during their appearance in Utah. Then there is the viral clip, the one showing Rick crouched over Charlie immediately after the shooting occurred. In that particular footage, Rick appears to be smiling. Your career included retirement after 30 years with the Irving, Texas Police Department, where you held a supervisor position. 22 years of that service was spent in SWAT operations. Prior to that law enforcement career, you had 6 years with the United States Army Military Police, serving in both active duty and reserves. There was never any plan to retire early, but circumstances in life led to an opportunity to come to Guatemala and work in the mission field. That image of Rick appearing to smile has raised serious public concern, and the reason for this concern is not difficult to understand. However, focusing solely on Rick would be a mistake. Other security personnel were present at the scene that day. More men were hired specifically to protect Charlie, and one name continues to surface repeatedly: Brian Harpole, the founder of Integrity Security Solutions. His company provided the security services on September 10th. According to statements made by Candace Owens, Brian attended a high-level military meeting just 2 days before the assassination occurred. This tip came from a man currently in witness protection. If this information proves to be true, that represents quite a hell of a coincidence. There were approximately 12 lieutenant colonels observed at this meeting. The witness reported that you do not see that many people, that many E4s, E5s, and E6s gathered together like this. The witness acknowledged uncertainty about proper military vernacular, but emphasized the unusual nature of this gathering. You simply do not see this type of assembly unless you are at the Pentagon or at the White House. The witness saw that the person accompanying this group was someone he was certain was Ryan Harpole. Here is where things become even murkier and more confusing. Ryan allegedly claimed that drones were illegal to operate at UVU campus, but that statement directly contradicts what TPUSA's Frank Torque stated. Frank said Charlie viewed drone footage while en route to campus. Which version is accurate? Were drones actually illegal, or was Charlie watching drone surveillance just hours before he was shot? In the video footage captured from that day, you can observe Brian standing over Charlie after the shooting occurred. He appears to grab something from the scene, then he hands it to 2 men nearby. One man is wearing a light blue plaid shirt. The other man is dressed completely in black. What exactly did he hand them? Why did he choose to hand it specifically to them? Nobody is providing answers to these questions. Now consider Dan Flood and Justin Davis. Both men reportedly worked for Schaefer Security Group, a firm founded by retired FBI agent Greg Schaefer. That company provided security services for TPUSA until 2022. In 2022, something significant changed. Dan Flood and Brian Harpole left Schaefer together. They founded Integrity Security Solutions and immediately took over the TPUSA security contract. The The same people who had been protecting Charlie under one company simply formed a new company and kept the exact same job. This was a seamless transition with no interruption. Dan Flood is the man requiring close attention in this investigation. He is the individual in sunglasses standing to Charlie's right in the footage. Just moments before the shot was fired, he appears to make some kind of hand signal. Perhaps it means nothing. Perhaps it is merely a nervous habit or unconscious gesture. But it raised enough suspicion that people continue talking about it and analyzing that moment. Here is the most striking detail. That same man, Dan Flood, is currently providing security services for Erika Kirk. Taking a step back to look at the bigger picture reveals numerous red flags involving the security team. There are connections that seem far too convenient to be coincidental. There are behaviors that simply do not add up when examined logically. Currently, there is no direct proof of involvement in any conspiracy. However, the circumstances surrounding this case raise serious questions. Questions that deserve honest and thorough answers. Yet neither Erika nor the FBI are addressing these legitimate concerns. The security personnel who were closest to Charlie, the ones who should have been the very first people interviewed and questioned extensively, remain largely unexamined and unscrutinized. Why is that the case? Why are the people who were hired specifically to protect Charlie not being scrutinized? Why is Erika working with them instead of demanding accountability from them? Will Erika succeed in shutting down public discussion? Will the public simply move on and forget about these inconsistencies? Or will the pressure continue to intensify as more people become aware? History has demonstrated one consistent truth. When people are told to stop asking questions, when the powerful attempt to silence scrutiny and shut down investigation, it does not make the questions disappear. It makes them louder and more persistent. What we are left with is a security team with unexplained connections, a widow working with the guards who failed to protect her husband, and an official narrative that nobody is allowed to question. Does any of that sit right with you?